A little over 2 years ago, I was depressed. My business had just failed and I went broke. I had just moved from a luxury 34th floor condo to a shared 5-bedroom apartment and I was completely lost. A few years prior, I had finally achieved my dream of running an online business. I went from a broke dropout to a world-traveling digital nomad. Life was great until a few poor decisions unraveled it all. I had gone back to square one, or maybe -1 if you consider the fact that I got in quite a bit of debt. It suffices to say that I went through quite the roller coaster and ended up flat on my I had nothing to look forward to, no reason to wake up in the morning, and worse than the financial outcome, I felt purposeless. After a few cloudy months, I realized that I needed to make a change. I needed something to work on, and I didn't care what. Just something I can add to little by little, each and every day. I had recently discovered Stoicism, which had helped tremendously with my recovery from failure. And while I was no expert in the subject, I thought that it would be cool to share what I was learning with the world. So I started Stoic Reflections, an Instagram page where I'd be able to take a quote, design a piece of content, and share it with others on a daily basis. 2.5 years later, there are over 850,000 people who fell in love with Stoicism just as I had not too long ago. Not only has this project dragged me out of depression and given me a sense of purpose, I've also improved my knowledge and learned valuable new skills. I've learned a lot about philosophy, marketing, graphic design, things that I've always had an interest in, but never a reason to learn. I've also learned a lot about what it takes to grow both online and off. Mostly that discipline and consistency are really all that matter. When you decide to show up every day with the intention of improving, life gets brighter. And I attribute all of the positive changes I've had to starting a purpose project. All right, so how do you start a purpose project for yourself? First off, let me explain the difference between purpose and passion. Because surely you've heard about passion projects, and that's not what this is. Passion is what you do, purpose is why you do it. And for this, it's not about what you do. It's simply about why. You're doing it to have a reason to wake up, to have something to build on little by little, to expand your knowledge and learn new skills. Something that you could be proud of, that fires you up to keep on going. See, I didn't have a passion for Stoicism. I was just curious about it. And as long as someone somewhere saw my post and got some value out of it, I would get the feeling of purpose that I deeply lacked. It all came down to following my curiosity. You don't need unique skills to start working on something, and you don't need a fancy education to be curious. In fact, I'm not a graphic designer, nor am I a philosopher, and I even dropped out of school. So if I let any of that hold me back, Stoic Reflections wouldn't exist and I'd still be sitting around feeling purposeless. I was simply curious about Stoicism, so I ran with it. I didn't think twice. Thanks to the internet, it's never been easier for you to funnel your curiosities into a purpose project. You can start an Instagram page just like I did, or you can make YouTube videos, TikToks, write a blog, start an email newsletter. The platform and format don't matter in the least. You also don't need a master plan to get started. When I began, there was no plan. The only plan was to do something every single day. Trust me, you will figure it out as you go. You just need to identify something that you're curious about and jump right in. Curious about organic vegetable gardens? Why not build one? Document the process and share what you learned with others. Just like Urban Farmstead does here on YouTube. Maybe you love reading non-fiction books. Why not share your highlights, notes, and takeaways like Alex and Books does on Instagram? And by the way, lack of money is not an excuse. You don't need money to share something that you're learning. It didn't cost me any money to take quotes from books I was reading and sharing them online. And I was broke. I didn't even have money to begin with. See, the beauty of purpose projects is that there's no pressure. You don't need to get famous and you don't need to make money off it. I'm not saying that that can't happen, but that's not the reason you're doing it. The process itself is the reward. And when I learned that, it took a lot of weight off my shoulders. I could just focus on working on the project without worrying about where it should, could, or would lead to. So if you put in the work and remain disciplined, not only will you experience what purpose feels like, you'll gain new skills, learn new things, and if you're lucky, you may even improve the lives of others. And you will no longer have to rely on the fleeting waves of motivation because your purpose project will keep you going for the long run. So let me know if you're thinking about starting a purpose project. What are you curious about? Leave a comment below, and if I can, I'd love to help you out. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, and if you want to learn more about purpose projects, how to make an income off them, or cultivate a little bit more freedom in your life, subscribe now, and I will see you in the next video.